The shooting of 2 National Guard members prompts the Trump administration to take drastic measures affecting asylum seekers.
Cyber Monday could set a new all-time record. Find out who may be fueling a lot of the spending.
And the Victory Bell stays put here at USC. Find out how it became the ultimate trophy of the crosstown rivalry game.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Donald Trump has temporarily paused all asylum decisions and Afghani visa applications after the attack on 2 National Guards. Hi, I'm Connor Wyckoff.
And I'm Mary Elisabeth. The close-range shooting left 1 National Guard member dead, the other in critical condition. Reporter Jose Trejo is here with more on the story.
Welcome back to Politics Today. Tragedy struck the nation's capital over Thanksgiving when an Afghan asylum seeker allegedly shot 2 National Guard members. 1 National Guard member was critically wounded in the nation's capital. The suspect is an Afghan national who was shot and arrested at the scene. President Trump reacted by vowing to pause migration from third world countries, and immigration expert weighed in.
Definitely the president can suspend the entrance of nationals from certain countries when it comes to national security. It's unclear to me the connection, whether the government could have somehow understood what was in the mind of this individual before this individual committed this tragic, this tragic murders.
Over the years, asylum grant rates have decreased. With the proposed immigration pause, critics are fearful rates may continue to decline.
This is such an announcement from the president is very damaging to the reputation of our country as a country that has always embraced, since its inception, it has embraced immigrants and celebrated the positive contributions that those immigrants have offered to our country.
So far, there's no word of a motive for the deadly attack. The surviving guard is reportedly showing signs of recovery. Back to you guys at the desk.
This Cyber Monday is once again expected to be the biggest day of the year for online retailers. But as prices continue to increase, things look a little different. Some experts anticipate record-breaking sales, but people aren't buying more, they're spending more, especially wealthy shoppers. Thanks to rising costs, consumers are making do with tighter budgets and less buying power. We caught up with some USC students to hear their thoughts.
I feel like the budget, or the deals I've seen on Amazon at least, are very limited to what they were in previous years, but there are occasional good deals here and there.
Over the years, like kind of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, like the hype around it has been getting less. I know like 10 years ago, people would be like lined outside stores for hours like to get the Cyber Monday and Black Friday deals, but I don't feel like the hype around it this year as much.
I think with inflation and everything, prices have been rising over the years, and especially now with my recent Black Friday shopping, I feel like the discounts are getting less and less every year. Before it was like almost 50 to 60% off, but now I'm only seeing like 20 to 30% off.
Adobe Analytics predicts more than $14 billion will be spent on this Cyber Monday. That's a 6.3% increase over last year. Cyber Monday spending exceeded the preceding one for 10 years in a row. It seems this trend will continue as shoppers continue to pay more for less.
December 1st is recognized internationally as World AIDS Day. It's a day to raise awareness about the disease that 1.3 million Americans live with. A panel of the AIDS Memorial Quilt is on display inside the West Hollywood Council Chambers meeting room through December 15th. And tonight, people across LA are gathering at the AIDS Monument in West Hollywood Park.
It's an opportunity for the world to firstly acknowledge that AIDS and HIV is still a significant health and societal issue, and an opportunity for countries, states, cities on a localized level to step up and act on that.
For the first time since its inception in 1988, the U.S. is officially not recognizing the Day of Awareness. An expert tells us what implications this has for the treatment of the disease.
to watch various organizations supported by the government removing funding for research, for medical care, for housing, for emotional support services. All of those things are taking us back to the 80s, where for almost 4 years, the idea that there is a HIV and AIDS pandemic in the US was completely ignored and not mentioned by the government.
And be sure to look around tonight. Landmarks across the city, including the LA Coliseum and BMO Stadium, will have red projected on them to remind us of the impact of AIDS here and around the world.
In his first foreign trip since assuming the papacy, Pope Leo XIV arrived in Turkey at the end of last week. In his visit, he reinforced his call for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The Pope also said this is, quote, the only solution to the conflict. He joined Orthodox patriarchs and bishops in a prayer that Christians be reunited once again.
In the midst of these struggles, a sense of hopefulness and encouragement can be found when we focus on what unites us, our common humanity, and our belief in a God of love and mercy.
A USC religion expert speaks about the influence that the Pope's visit might have.
The Pope has been unwavering and clear that he truly believes that Palestinian state is the only solution. He came to the place, right? He came to the area where the conflict is, and his messaging hasn't changed. And so he's not just saying it from a distance and giving an opinion, but I also think his presence undergirds his messaging.
The Pope spent the weekend commemorating Christian history and left Turkey yesterday for Lebanon, the second and final leg of his trip.
Rivalry week ended on Saturday with the Bruins' crushing defeat. As the victors, the Trojans will keep the storied victory bell, and it's staying cardinal red for another year. The bell first became part of the rivalry in 1939 when UCLA's alumni gifted it to the Bruins student body. 2 years later, USC students stole that bell and hid it for over a year, sparking a series of pranks between the schools.
I'm very excited, as are a lot of our senior knights, really excited to have the bell so that they're able to kind of have it for their last year or their last spring. The bell is really out and about when it's under USC's administration. UCLA doesn't take it out as much as we do, but I know USC requests the bell at football games, at basketball games sometimes.
To end the feud, both schools signed an agreement in 1942, making the bell the official trophy of the crosstown rivals. And ever since, the bell winner keeps that bell for the year and paints it blue or red.
Knowing that we have that bell, it's like such an honor, and it just fills me with a sense of pride to be a Trojan.
I was actually going to be heartbroken to lose the bell. I just love having it at our school, bring it to many events, and just seeing that cardinal gold and that the ring of the bell is just an amazing sound of victories.
We run LA, we're the best school in the city again, and also it means that we get to beat the Bruins and 4s down.
After 95 games, USC officially has 52 wins over UCLA, and at every home game, any fan has the chance to ring that victory bell as it's paraded around campus. And the new word of the year might send you into a rage. Stay tuned in for the full story.
And a USC alum will join us live after hitting it out of the park with his latest book.
And stay tuned for a live tree lighting update.
The Oxford English Dictionary has named rage bait the 2025 word of the year. The term has increased threefold over the last 12 months, according to Oxford. Rage bait is defined as online content deliberately designed to elicit anger or outrage by being frustrating, provocative, or offensive. This is what the senior editor at the Oxford Dictionary had to say about the word of the year.
For word of the year, we are looking for words which seem to us to have something to say to our experiences of the year as a society, and things that will get people talking about language. We've seen RageBait have a threefold increase over the course of the year, so it's tripled in usage since 2024.
Students on campus have plenty to say regarding the word of the year. We asked Trojans what rage baits them.
When someone that's problematic reposts stuff about being the bigger person.
When I'm trying to watch a TikTok or something and I have zero Wi-Fi and it gets to a good spot in the TikTok, but it just never loads, and I'm just trying to turn on and off my Wi-Fi, but it just never loads,
Something that rage baits me is how absolutely vile and disgusting the food at EVK is. I started off my meal plan there. I've gotten sick from it, and I think it's absolutely vile. It rage baits me to the most extent ever. It makes me want to throw up.
Well, we just heard a lot about what students had to say, but Mary, I've been wondering, what has been rage baiting you these days?
Now, that is a great question, Connor. I would have to say, growing up with three brothers, they rage bait me every day, and especially at the Thanksgiving table this past week. But what about you?
I'm sure. Mine also this past week. At the game this weekend against UCLA, all those Bruin fans were rage baiting me, but it didn't matter in the end because we won, came out on top.
We always get that victory. I know that's right.
Exactly.
And now to spotlight a former Trojan, we are joined by Skylar Treppel, a financial advisor turned children books author. The third book in a series, From Challenge to Champion, telling the story of baseball greats, hits bookstores tomorrow. Skylar, thank you so much for being with us today. And starting off, could you please tell us more about your latest book and what inspired this whole series?
As a former ATVN anchor myself, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, the next book is Inspiring Stories of Baseball Greats. I was actually recruited by Penguin Random House after posting the articles I write for People magazine online about inspiring athletes. I've always loved inspiring athlete stories. And to be able to give back to the next generation and inspire them is the dream come true. So that's what started the series. And Inspiring Stories of Baseball Greats couldn't come at a better time with the World Series and the Dodgers and the Blue Jays and the multi-country battle. It's just a great time for baseball and an exciting time for the book and to get people into it.
And like you mentioned, a fellow USC ATVN alum, what kind of skills did maybe those transfer into your book writing skills?
Absolutely, ATVN, USC really taught me the structure of how to be able to tell stories, how to inspire others. And I was able to do that in this book and use my research skills to find Jim Abbott pitching a no-hitter with one hand, or Mookie Betts being not able to join any little league teams because he was too small. Shohei Ohtani, no one believing he could pitch and bat. I mean, the stories just go on forever. So Jackie Robinson overcoming the racism he did. Over 100 years of baseball history in this book, and I couldn't have done it without the skills I learned at USC.
Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. And again, his book is out in stores tomorrow, so go grab a copy. And thank you again so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Well, I saw some sunny skies today, but I am pretty sad in the studio right now because, Dimitri, it's our last weather worth watching. So what should we watch for this week?
That's right, Connor. Welcome back to Weather Worth Watching. Hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving. I know I did. But isn't it messed up that we get a taste of freedom and then we have to come back to this mess for finals? Don't get me started. But going back to New York, I did miss the Southern California weather, and I'm happy to report that we're currently looking at 63 degrees and sunny. Getting into the week, we're looking at lots of sunshine, except for Wednesday. Ruining a beautiful thing. Get out of here, Wednesday. And it's right in the middle of the week, too. Come on. We're also looking at a cooling trend due to an area of high pressure coming from up north. Perfect way to end the semester and our very last show. I wanted to take this time to thank everyone behind the scenes who doesn't get enough credit. Without you, there is no show. And most of all, I want to thank our viewers. I love you for watching. And I won't see you next time, but you will see Jude right now with sports. What's going on, Jude? What's that crosstown rivalry I'm hearing about and the win?
Well, thank you so much, Dimitri, but I also couldn't do it without my duo, so we're going to bring in Kyle, too. But USC football reminded who runs Los Angeles with a dominant performance versus crosstown rival UCLA last Saturday.
USC women's volleyball is setting themselves up for success in the NCAA tournament after securing 2 wins at the end of the season.
And USC men's basketball did more than just taking in the views in Hawaii, as they made history winning their first ever Maui Invitational title. All of that and more up next on Sports.
USG election season has kicked off.
They have a huge game on Thursday, right?
Huge.
Prior to that, he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
And a warning tonight about a massive storm heading our way.
We're live here at the Galen Center. What would y'all do if you had $2.5 million?
Music, art, and women empowerment.
And she put her stamp on Big Ten history.
Over. Those are men swimming like fish.
Thanks for watching.
Annabelle TV News. You never miss an episode.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
So, live from the Halo is USC Annenberg's take on NPR's Tiny Desk concerts. This is like a platform for USC students and adjunct students just to perform and play their music for an audience.
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. I'm Jude Ocanas.
And I'm Kyle Loquet.
Victory Bell is staying home for another year. Lincoln Riley and the Trojans finished the season on a high note against crosstown rival UCLA thanks to a dominant second half. The first half was anything but pretty as USC trailed 10-7 at halftime, but out the break, USC turned to sixth gear playing with high-speed energy. The Trojans outscored the Bruins 22-0 in the second half, making the Bruins look more like a pack of Cubs. Here's what Riley had to say after the win.
You know, we're a better team, we're a better program now than we were 12 months ago. I think this team, I think some of the resilience that we showed throughout the year, you know, we were able to win games a lot of different ways. The way we played in the second half, really throughout the entire season. I just think there's just so much to build on.
The Trojans' 9 wins on the season marked the most since Riley's first year in 2022, but the chances of playing the college football playoffs seem like a long shot. But Kyle, how would you classify this season, as a success or not?
I think it was a success. Come on, like they went 9-3 last year. They went 7-6. Lincoln Riley got a lot of hate last year. This season, they beat some teams that a lot of people didn't think that they would be able to beat.
And who was that?
Well, Michigan. They also beat obviously UCLA, but even they beat Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
They beat who else earlier in the season? They beat Northwestern. They just beat Michigan specifically, actually, was the team. But I think they did what they needed to do. Maava also led the Big Ten in passing yards, and this was a success. I mean, what do you think, Jude?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can call it a success, but at the end of the day, did we get anything more from last season that we didn't? You know, USC, at the end of the day, we care about winning those big games. We care about competing in the college football playoffs. And unfortunately, for 4 straight seasons, Lincoln Riley has not been able to provide that. But I do think we saw some sort of culture shift in the players' buy-in more this season. But USC will have to wait to this Sunday to see where and who they will be lining up against this bowl season.
History will be meeting home court advantage this Thursday as the USC women's volleyball team will be making their 4th straight appearance in the NCAA tournament, and they will be opening their postseason at the Galen Center for the first time since 2018. After winning their last 2 matches against Michigan State and Michigan, London Weejay has been absolutely killing the game. Literally, Weejay led the team with 11 kills against Michigan State and recorded her 7th double-double of the season with 20 kills and 11 digs against Michigan. The Trojans will be ranked as the 4th seed heading into the tournament and will play Princeton in the first round. Then the winner will advance to the second round, where they will either play Cal Poly or BYU. The Trojans will also have home court advantage in both games. USC women's volleyball will continue to serve up their dominance this Thursday as they look to take on Princeton at 7 p.m. at the Galen Center.
USC men's basketball landed on the latest AP Top 25 poll after embracing the season of giving at the Maui Invitational last week by handing out buckets en route to a title. The Trojans capped a perfect 3-0 week with a championship game win over Arizona State to capture their first ever Maui Invitational title. With the absence of Rodney Rice, senior guard Chad Baker-Mazzara took charge in the final game. Mazzara's 23-point performance earned him the tournament MVP, and he became the first ever player to win the Invitational twice. The Trojans' 7-0 start to the season earned them an appearance in the latest AP poll at number 24. USC opens up conference play tomorrow on the road versus Oregon.
Well, Jude, since this is the last show, it's only right that we do something special. So let's bring out the wheel. So as you guys can see here, the wheel has a bunch of topics where we will be discussing based on what we get. So Jude, why don't you do the honors? Let's spin it. Oh, best sports movie.
Easy. Remember the Titans. No question about it. That is the best sports movie.
That was a good pick, but I'm going with an underrated sleeper here. Coach Carter. If you haven't seen it, you might want to go watch it right now because it is honestly a great movie.
Well, for one final time, I'm Jude Ocanas.
And for one last time this semester, I'm Kyle Loquet. Now let's send it over to Connor because I heard something else or something green is getting lit tonight.
That's right, Kyle. You know, things are always lit in Studio C, but stay tuned to see what's lit tonight in downtown LA.
The holiday season is officially underway, and reporter Anthony Bettino is in downtown LA next to a very tall evergreen. Anthony?
Thanks, Mary. I'm at LA's annual Christmas tree lighting, where tons of people are gathered here to spread holiday cheer and see this 50-foot Christmas tree light up the night sky. But that tree isn't the only thing at this winter wonderland. There's music, art making, free hot chocolate, and even snow in Los Angeles. And everyone is invited to donate art supplies and winter clothes to help those in need. Well, there's quite the crowd here to ring in the holiday season. And now I'm joined by Owen, who's here at the lighting, to see why do you want to come here. Thank you so much for being with me.
The reason for me wanting to come here is just kind of, I was actually walking and I kind of seen a lot of like people, so I'm like, what's going on? Everyone seemed happy, heard the music, so yeah, it seemed like it was a vibe, you know, something different for like downtown Los Angeles.
Awesome. And now, what do you like about this event so far?
Oh, the people. Everyone's just smiling. Everyone's happy. It's like energy, the aura here. You know, the aura is high. You know, the vibes are high. So, yeah.
Right. It's downtown Los Angeles, so there's got to be a lot of aura. And now, are you excited to see this tree light up the sky?
I am. We've been waiting, but I'm super excited. Yeah.
And now, why do you think it's important to LA have an event like this?
I think community. I think around this time, a lot of things about family, community, being together, a lot with like mental health. So I think it's good to bring people together, smiling, and yeah, just connect with people, which I think is beautiful. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Owen, and happy holidays.
Of course, likewise. Yeah.
Now, if you want to see a giant Christmas tree but can't get to downtown, don't worry. USC has its very own tree in the Caruso Catholic Center. Well, the tree is about to be lit. We're about to see it happen, but the celebration will continue here at the Music Center until 8 p.m. tonight. And now it's about time I watch this get lit and go get some hot chocolate. So I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. For Anthony Bettino, for Annenberg Media, I'm Anthony Bettino.
Thank you so much, Anthony. And before we wrap up our last Monday show, we wanted to give a few thank yous. First off, we want to shout out all of our faculty for their constant support, and a huge shout out to Stacy, Barbara, Tom, Bobby, Mallory, and Chris.
And we also want to thank all of our incredible control room members and director Kira Beller and assistant director Benjamin Gamson. Also, huge shout out to all of our MJs, package reporters, and volunteers.
And finally, thank you to our incredible producers, Annabelle, Cordelia, and Kim. We're also incredibly grateful for our amazing EP, Curran. The show would not be the same without all of you.
And sadly, for the final time this semester, thanks so much for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Connor Wyckoff.
And I'm Mary Elisabeth. For more coverage, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night, everybody.